Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the final game of the day here in the FC Dynamo Brest Cup 2017 qualifier. As always, I am Hawker, joined by Sir Danny to bring you all of the action. And ending the day, we're going back over to Group B for Kinguin up against aTTaX. I think this could be a fairly competitive game, Danny.
It really can be, as this is the sort of map that Alternate has been popping up in their map pool more and more so often. They really enjoy playing this map. By the looks of it, Hunden, the game leader, seems to be having a relatively sort of good showing here on a map like Trainee. Of course, when he was back within the Trick team, you know, the sort of Danish lineups he was in, he also was the one to have been playing Train, and looks like he's putting this mentality into Alternate aTTaX. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, I'd say, because Kinguin, to be honest, I don't know what's their status on a map like Train here. I think they're gonna be able to play it relatively good, but as this is a bit of a, I'd say, a better map for Alternate aTTaX, all things considering. On the other hand, Alternate just played a game not too long ago, an hour or so, and they got stomped. I hope they're going to be having a different mentality coming into this game, but they just got stomped by a Lithuanian team, 14-1. That was the scoreline that ended in the first half, and I hope that aTTaX will at least be having a bit of a better mindset coming into a game like this here on Train. And of course, as I mentioned previously, the FCDB Cup.
And we will get to see Kinguin start on the CT side, which always can be relevant on Train. And here we go, we'll head underway and get to see the buys come through. The previous times we've seen aTTaX play Train, for the most part, they've gone towards the B site with some nades brought up. And already we are going to again see both Hunden and Tizian invest into that utility. This is pretty much what we always see from them. In the meantime, Rallen has bought up a HE grenade, a flashbang, and then left $300 in the bank. So I'm not sure what he's going for. Maybe he missed the kit, but we are going to see aTTaX this time not quite go and group up all towards B to start things off. But they've got a couple of players up there that are towards Brown Halls.
Indeed, you have Kinguin. It's still quite hard to say which part of the map they do want to hit. As pardon me, Alternate aTTaX, as looks like Alternate aTTaX is now actually making their way onto the A bombs, and that is where the players are coming from. But those are some very nifty smokes blocking off the vision of the poles, as they have barely anything in contention in a round like this. They will try to go for the retake, but it's gonna be difficult to say the least. Capper might be spotting out the player in heaven, but the player in heaven will be picking up the frag. Now this sort of is crumbling here, but just wait a minute. Rallen and Mouse now make it all up to Mouse in a 1 versus 3. This is not looking easy here for Mouse. He's expecting the player to peek from heaven, but the problem is trying to save his pistol arena with the armor isn't that bad of a choice, to be honest. He can keep it into the next round, but the problem is, though, he's gonna get hunted, but he's surviving here. Mouse picking up too, but in the end, that's not really gonna mean much, as Alternate aTTaX will be winning the very first pistol round.
Yeah, we saw there Kinguin stack 4 players towards B to start the round, and I'm wondering if they did try and do some counter-stratting there, because so far we have only ever really seen Alternate aTTaX go for a fairly fast B push when they do buy the nades like that on these pistol rounds on the T side. And so it looked like Kinguin were trying to counter that with 4B, but then as soon as the A play comes in, of course, they just get overwhelmed, and so Alternate aTTaX in a good position to get things going early on their T side. They do have to deal with the force buy here, though. And Kappa is the man on towards B, holding in towards upper. He's up close with the CZ, but the push is coming down ramp, and I don't know if Kappa can hear the players here. The rotate is coming in, but he's giving up the sight and allowing the bomb to go down. They don't know he's here, though, so Kappa is going to get that one free kill as he makes his position known. And now Kinguin, I mean, they have to retake the site, but already finding a kill isn't too bad, and Kappa gets himself a second frag. Here comes Searson, will finally find the trade, but back to a 4-on-3.
Yeah, but Capper, I mean, such a massive play for him. This puts Kinguin in contention to win that round, but it looks like they're not gonna go for it. In fact, they're just gonna run away. I don't know if that's the correct choice. Honestly, Kinguin, they didn't have that bad of a chance, and they still had some time left on the clock, but they just decided to play the safer route, and honestly, I don't blame them. If one of their individuals, like we saw Capper previously, going to be having similar success as Capper just did, they might just try to go to win that round. But for the time being, they're going to stick with what they had previously, and what they had wasn't bad. You know, they had some of those upgraded pistols, a FAMAS onto Mouse, as we saw previously. In the pistol round, he was able to acquire 3 quick kills in quick succession that did allow him to purchase up the FAMAS and the armor as well that he kept from the previous round. And Kinguin, again, you know, another possibility for them to maybe try out to win the round, but I think it's really gonna come down to one of the individual players to have a go at it. Maybe he can get a couple of kills, then put the other players in a good spot to get kills themselves. But really, alternate and now deploying some of that utility on the A bombs, and they should try to push, I presume. They are still waiting themselves.
Yeah, we are just going to see aTTaX sit back fairly patiently. They had a few players grouped up towards Ivy, but now they're slowly going to make their way back around. Rallen with the scout is sitting back towards Ivy, and he might be able to try and take some pot shots here, because alternate attacks themselves are indeed making their way out towards A, but already Hunden will just about react to find that headshot. Rallen in towards the back trains isn't really finding the angle, although just as I say that, he does find himself a frag. The bomb will still get its way towards the site though, and so alternate attacks, I'm sure, will be very comfortable with the position they have got themselves into. And Kinguin playing fairly safe, fairly far back, do get themselves 1 kill, but it looks like they're not going to find too much more. Mihu will eventually go down, and so Kinguin will just look to see if they can find a couple of kills at the end of the round here, but alternate attacks certainly going to take the 3-0.
Yeah, it's gonna be, by the looks of it, the 3-0. I presume Searson should be swapping out that Mag 10 maybe for a better gun, that better gun being Nicolil. It's going to be very much the case. Alternate attacks going to be taking this one home this round at the very least. I was still quite surprised Mouse wasn't able to accomplish much with the FAMAS, and in general, Kinguin, now they might be feeling, well, they didn't really accomplish much in this round, and I presume they're thinking, well, what would it have been if we'd have actually decided to go for a retake in that 4 versus 3 in which Capper was able to pick up 2 frags. That was a much better round in which they had chances than in a round like this. Alternate attacks literally just rolling over them in a round like this. They did a very good job here, the Germans, but now Kinguin are going to be straight back into this one as it's looking quite good. I'd say it's looking like a pretty decent buy. Sparrow and Mouse is lacking a bit in utility, but I don't think utility is gonna matter much as now alternate attacks is now pushing on this A bomb set very fast indeed. They are picking up the pace. They should be in position to plant the bomb, but there's a Mihu prying through, but the Molotov will be the end of him. And now the bomb will be planted without any sort of issue, but Sparrow and Mouse, they're in good spots, and now it's Searson somehow left all by his lonesome. And I think he's already thinking about it, making the correct choice of actually even saving that op, putting its use into the next round, as he honestly didn't accomplish much here, and really can in a round like this.
Yeah, he was too far away really to be able to do too much after his teammates go down so quickly there. You saw Mihu forcing the first fight, and it looked a bit strange at first when he only gets the 1 kill, but you kind of see what it allows Kinguin to do. It allows them to get their way forwards, and alternate attacks were kind of caught out by that because Mihu kind of forced them to take the fights, and then attacks seemed to not be ready for the next players to be pushing through. I think they may have even been reloading, so it allowed Kinguin to push through quickly to find those frags. So now we will head back into a buy for both teams because aTTaX, of course, had that money built up. We are going to see Kinguin this time go for some aggression in towards team main. You can see the smoke and Molotov will allow Mouse to completely clear this position. And so despite the fact that attacks are all in towards brown holes, good information for Kinguin to start things off. However, here comes the push towards B. Kappa will look to open things up, but already alternate attacks again have an incredibly successful B take. We saw this in the game earlier today on Train. Alternate attacks looked really good on their pushes towards B, and that trend may continue here as Kinguin already are forced to save.
What we have seen for the past couple of rounds is that alternate attacks are keeping up here with the pace. At first, you know, they're pretty much waiting for the polar side to use up some of their utility. If they haven't used it, they're just gonna rush. And these rushes, to be honest, are looking relatively good. They get the bomb down, and in most cases, in a round like this, right before they even plant the bomb, they were able at successfully getting those frags. So that was very nicely done from the Germans. The round previously, it didn't look as good, even though they did plant the bomb. It really came down to some of the individuals from the Polish side, like Maus picking up a frag. I think it was Michu as well. But honestly, Kinguin in a 5 versus 3, they decided to say that's a good choice as they still have a decent amount of money to reinvest in a round like this, and the investment does come through. All players have rifles. It's looking even better than what they had to offer in the first gun round.
And we will see Kinguin again go for the buy, but they don't have an AWP in their side. See Searson attempting that Guardian wallbang, but he's not going to get the timing right. So Kinguin again, considering it's train, I'm sure they would like to have an AWP for Spiro, but he's not been able to really get that going just yet. Whereas aTTaX on their side of things do have one for Searson. Searson hasn't really been able to do too much with it so far. So we'll have to see if he can step up in this round number 6. Doesn't seem like he'll get too many chances to at the start of the round though, because aTTaX are for the most part sitting back. We're going to see them go for that takedown pop dog. Let's see if Spiro can hold this off. He spots them out, and there it is, the double spray down. That's the risk of going for that drop down where you drop onto your teammate's head. If your teammate goes down, you're going to be stuck in midair. And so that allows 2 fairly easy kills for Spiro. But just as I say that, Tizian does himself come down for the eventual trade. Although he does get taken down to 2 HP in the meantime.
But at least, he's able to get their frags, still putting his team in a better situation than what they had previously. Searson with the op. This is where he could time through Tizian.
He literally just missed the ladder. Like, that's insane. Okay.
Oh my, that's a horrible way to lose. 2 HP, yeah, I mean, that's quite easy to fall to your doom like that. And Searson with the op again, barely accomplishing anything. He was able to get this frag here, but really with the op and the way alternate attacks have been played, this sort of fast pace of Counter-Strike on the terrorist side, the op hasn't been much of good. It hasn't been really good here for the alternate attack side. They've been having that op. That is nice and all. It's a pretty big green gun and it's a weapon that can do some massive damage, but the way the Germans are playing right now, the op is simply not coming into fruition.
Yeah, we are going to see aTTaX still get themselves a buy together, even after that round goes fairly wrong for them. Of course, the AWP was saved, so they force off the back of it. And in the meantime, here is Spiro with an AWP himself. He is going to play over towards Ivy to start the round. It's a fairly standard position for AWPers on the CT side because it is fairly adaptable. You can look towards Ivy, but you can also try and look in towards T main. You can spot out the cross from Pop Dog to the site, so there's plenty of opportunities for Spiro here to find opening kills. With the smokes coming over the top, they'll be looking to make sure Spiro can't open up, and that's worked out for them because Stefan runs in first, finds that initial entry, and you can see Kinguin not really in the best of positions here to deny the bomb from going down, so Hunden will get that plant. And Kinguin now, again, they're forced to retake the site. They've been playing so passive.
What?
And Miyu just takes his teammate down to 15 HP. This is going all wrong for Kinguin.
Why? Is a good question. Why on earth did he shoot his teammate there? That was not according to plan, but this retake is, you could say, kind of go according to plan, but they could really use a quick frag here, and looks like no frag will be going in favor here for the Kinguin side. And again, we're seeing what we had seen previously. It's a save, even though they end up winning, the round previously. Now they're gonna have to save due to a lack of money. But again, if Kinguin is going to be able to save the rifles here, they're still going to be able to make the investment. Maus can drop a teammate, Capper can drop a teammate, and worst case scenario, Spero and Rallen can drop FAMASas. So really, it's not looking too bad here for the Kinguin side as the investment will come through again. But look at this. Even is gonna be a double op setup. Spero with the op and his teammate Rallen with an op of his own, and I presume with that op you want to go towards B. That is where Rallen is heading at. But the thing is, though, they have 3 players towards B. This is a bit interesting. Okay, one of them is now rotating off as that was a bit of an awkward setup from the get-go. Tizian spotting out the op of Rallen, but Rallen just wasn't able to land the shot, and he's gonna back away and play a bit more passively towards B. That's really what you want to be doing at that point. You don't land the shot there towards ramp, just back away, get yourself a better spot, and hold off the angles.
Yeah, at the same time, though, it does seem like Kinguin are having issues in terms of playing a bit too passively sometimes. A lot of these rounds, they've been forced to just save 3 or more guns, but this time that will not be the case because Mihu has already found 2 opening kills, so it's almost certain that Kinguin will fight for this round. There goes at least an eventual trade from Alternate Attacks. They find their opening kill in towards Popdog. But you can see Alternate Attacks still having second thoughts as to whether or not they want to commit to this push on towards the A site. And Kappa here is the man who could be in trouble, but he himself catches Hunden off guard. Hunden just having 2 different angles to try and deal with, and that comes back to bite him as he goes down, and Kappa finds himself 2 kills, just tapping away at the final player to get a triple on the round. And oh, Kinguin saved 3 AWPs at the end there. That's going to be interesting heading into this coming round.
Uh-oh. I think that's a bit of an issue. 2 ups is still not that bad of a setup, but I think after a round like this, they're probably going to be, if they end up winning the round, they're probably going to be dropping at least one of those ups out of the equation because, I mean, it's just a bit too much here on the CT side. Having too many scoped weapons isn't always a good thing. Retaking that could very much be an issue with having scope rifles like that. They're not going to be as good as the proper rifles. Searson, though, we've been saying that he has been relatively lackluster on the terrorist side, but now he's going to be the one to get an opening frag, and in fact that's already one of the ops being down. But Kinguin, they still have 2 up their sleeve.
Yeah, you saw there Spiro kind of trying to force the aggression towards Team Main. He didn't really have too much support, so it didn't quite work out in his favour. Rallen was attempting the wallbang, but he's not going to connect. And again, we're seeing this smoke from Hunden. He's going to fake a little bit towards A, and the rest of the team is going to commit to the push towards the B site. There is, however, an AWP of Mihu, and he finds himself a fairly easy kill. There was no real support there in terms of the push coming in, and here goes Kappa opening up and knocking them down, taking 2 kills for himself. Still 4 bullets in the clip. He goes for the reload, awkward angles, but he's going to finally spot out Tizian, who is out in the open. And so Searson with the AWP, despite getting that entry kill, is going to need to find all 4 of the final opponents left alive. And that's not going to be possible. Very nice hold from Kappa alongside Mihu on the B site. And again, well, the triple AWPs didn't quite make the impact. It was mainly Kappa with the rifle, but Mihu did still get the job done with the AWP when he was called upon.
He truly did. But on the other hand, Capper, this proves one very simple thing. That position towards ladder, towards coil, is a very strong spot for any seats to be in, especially if the clock is running down. The T's have got something like 20-30 seconds to go onto the bomb site itself. They're gonna go, and they're gonna make mistakes. Now, will the Germans make mistakes here? I mean, they might. After all, they have only an eco here. They're just running down here. Mao's doing such a good job at picking up 4 of those kills, and in very quick succession as well. Alternate Attacks I must admit, didn't have much going around like that. And in fact, the scoreline is going to be equalized. It's going to be 5-5, the Germans. Well, 5 rounds for them isn't that bad here. This is still sort of the mid portion of the first half. It's not that bad, to be honest. And I think for the Germans, they are expecting to acquire more rounds on the terror side, to be honest. On the CT side, we've seen them, and honestly, they haven't been looking so hot. It's the T side that they're somewhat been able to perform a bit better. On the CT side, they tend to struggle. Their individual players not always hitting the shots, and on the T side, and around like this, I'm wondering, are they going to be hitting the shots? Looks like Mao, the Sparrow, and Rallen. All these players are hitting their shots, and in fact, that's going to be as simple as that. Alternate attacks being shut down. As simple as that.
Yeah, I think we saw there. Hunden must have called for those Molotovs, and he clearly had something planned out. I think that was 3 Molotovs over towards A. It was a really cool idea. I think one landed on top of Blue, one landed here at Green Train, and then another one may have landed at Olaf or something like that. I didn't quite see exactly where the mollies went, but they were trying to clear out those close positions and then line up the push. But unfortunately for Alternate, there were no players where they position their Molotovs, and so instead they just get shut down by the longer range angles. Here's Mihu finding a very nice opening pick over towards Ivy. Does take a little bit of damage, but still lines up the shot through the smoke. so Stefan will not be able to find the kill himself as he goes down. Good job from Mihu there. Solid opening kills to give them the best possible chance, and you can already see a couple of aTTaX players also taking further damage from the nades. So it looks like with the pistols, aTTaX won't really be able to get too much done, although B is still somewhat weak for Kinguin. They only have Kappa here. If the utility was well placed, then they'll be able to get themselves the bomb plant possibly as the push comes forwards. Indeed, Hunden's going to get towards the site. Kappa going aggressive to try and deny it, but the bomb will go down. So alternate attacks, all things considered, don't get a terrible position there. They get themselves the bomb plant. They're going to have great money before they buy into this round, and I'm sure they'll be okay with that.
They should be relatively okay. A bit of a pause also coming in there from the alternate attack side. I presume Hunden, especially being the one to call out that timeout, it's a tactical timeout more than anything. In a round like this and the first half like this, where Kinguin seem to be running away with it. For the time being, the Germans are not having easy, especially after losing, some of those rounds, like the 2 rounds previously. Very dominant stuff there from Kinguin. And now alternate attacks, they gotta put their head within the game. It's also quite interesting. I do presume alternate attacks being 4 Germans and 1 Dane, I still think they communicate within English. So that's also, I think, one of the more interesting things worth mentioning. I'm wondering, are they going to be like changing up their comms, for instance, in German anytime soon? I mean, you have the majority of Germans, don't you? But the in-game leader, he's the Dane, and I wonder, how is Hunden's Deutsch skills holding up there? Because in English seems to be, that could be a bit of an issue here. On the T side, if they end up, like for instance, Hunden calls, okay guys, go A, and they know what sort of angles they have to check, and they played the post plans relatively good, not necessarily a need for great comms. On the CT side, I think that could be an issue with why they struggle. And Miku, though, look at the aggression from him by his lonesome, pushing there towards Ivan, getting the frag, and Tizian could be getting a frag for his team. But he's got to be careful. He's alone here, and Capper, he's going to be securing himself a good spot, and peeking through is actually going to be Tizian getting the frag in the end. So those were some early engagements being taken there by Kinguin, and honestly, only one of them working out. But even then, this is a 4 versus 3 in which you should be giving the favor here for the alternate attack side.
Yeah, certainly you would expect that to be the case. You can see Spiro is the man solo holding B with the AWP. So he's thinking of some aggression in towards Brown Halls, but it might be a little bit too late because the push is already coming out through A. And here come alternate attacks, pushing together as a unit. You can already see Stefan trying to help his teammates with the AWP, but alternate attacks are just going to walk onto the site off the back of the smokes. Here comes Rallen, though. Sneaky play, gets himself the 1 kill. The bomb goes down in the meantime, and Stefan's going to peek out wide, looking to get this quick trade. And that is going to come through for aTTaX. That was a very important kill, just to make sure that they couldn't get caught in the midst of the action on towards the site. Here comes Mouse, though. Can he get the timing right? He knows that Stefan is up close. He's going to clear this corner. Oh, how does he not get that kill? Stefan comes out on top with the AWP. And oh my goodness! Stefan just walks through the smoke to find that final frag. That AWP works wonderfully well in his hands. He finds 4 kills. And that is a ridiculous round coming out from him.
Give this man an AWP. Please give him the AWP. Serson, I know you want a AWP on the terrorist side, but really, Stefan, around like that was some beautiful shots being landed by him. Yeah, it could be a one-time occurrence, really, but still, it did one hell of a good job, I have to admit. And alternate attacks, we're seeing it again, Haka. They're going to be changing up the pace here, and I think they're going to be moving out relatively quickly here already. The players are making their way down towards ramp, and the problem is yet again, Kinguin. They have only 1 defender. One of them has rotated, though, but the rotation is a bit too late as now Capper wouldn't know what to do here, and he's not going to be able to do much. Tizian will be planting the bomb, and okay, he's gonna burn to the flames, so that's some extra time now for the Kinguin boys as they do press forward here, and they also have to recover the bomb here to the Polish side. This isn't looking as good for the Germans as I might have thought. Sparrow got a good angle indeed. Drops one of the players. Mouse is low in HP. He could be killing one of those players, but Sparrow and Rallen, the players from the CT side, trying to do something. Bomb again being dropped. Stefan spawning out Rallen. Rallen will be dropped. And now all up to Sparrow, 1 versus 2, spawning out one of them. and he could be getting the frag, and he will get the frag. Now it's all up to this 1 versus 1. Stefan versus Sparrow, and Stefan just playing around the ladder, trying to spot out the CT. He doesn't want to plant the bomb just yet, as he has no idea where Sparrow might be at. But now with the bomb being recovered, it does make sense to simply try and plant the bomb and try to play this post plant in a favorable position. If he's able to sneak past through the trains, it's not that bad. But as Sparrow jumping around making noise, that's a frag for Stefan, the fadeaway shot, in fact. Wow, that's quite surprising, I have to admit. The way that round went on, it looked quite hectic, I have to admit. Both, really, neither team coming out on top in the end. We saw aTTaX sort of come out on top, but that was still a 1 versus 1. Sparrow against Stefan, that could go any way, but it went in favor of Kinguin.
You mean attacks, but yeah, Stefan stepping up in the recent
Oh,
rounds.
pot. Oop, true.
Ooh, it's all good. It's all good. Sometimes I say the wrong things. It's pretty bad. It happens to everyone. You can't be perfect. No one is perfect. Here comes the push out towards A. Mouse finds that first headshot, makes it a second. Finally, the trade comes through, but Spiro, up close with the AWP, makes it happen, finding himself 2 kills to join alongside Mouse's double kill from the previous position, and Rallen easily closes things out. It's going to be Kinguin to take 8 rounds in their first half, but all things considered, I think aTTaX will be fairly happy with that. Heading into their CT side, though, again, there is the question as to how they can perform. Do they have enough skill on this lineup to make it happen? I mean, you look at the scoreboard, by the way. The frags have not particularly been there for alternate attacks, but that's mainly because Kinguin at the earlier stages were very often saving with sort of 3 and 4 players because they were playing so safe. So 8-7 at the half. Here come the buys in the second half. Pistol, and Rallen does just about buy Kevlar. Mouse with a P250 smoke and flash. Tizian with a smoke and a defuse kit. And we're going to see Kinguin spread out to start things off. So not going to see too much aggression just yet, although there are a few players in towards T main. Hunden's got his eyes locked on towards that position.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is where things could really get tricky get very tricky here for the alternate attack side, as you know the players, they haven't really been doing so good on the frag. I mean, Stefan has been stepping up, but honestly, the rest haven't been doing so hot. And Stefan himself again picking up 2 kills, make that 3 kills for him. In fact, he is really stepping up, and now Sparrow by his lonesome being tapped down there for the smoke. That is not the oh my god. How in the world, Stefan? How does he get that frag through the smoke? He has been phenomenal for the side. Really, it's because of him they've won some of these rounds. That, of course, that last round, the first half as well, this round and the pistol round. I mean, 4 kills for him. Very, very nice shots. Well, he's stepping up, but I mean, we haven't really been seeing some sort of monstrous performance from any of alternate attacks except for Stefan.
Here comes the UMP, finding that first kill. Despite Kappa having a fairly good spawn, he gets down Pop Dog first. He still cannot come out on top. So this is a chance for some of the other aTTaX players to potentially get themselves some kills. You can see Searson looking for that, but he's not quite going to be able to spray it down before Kinguin go safe. So it's just going to be aTTaX with the 1 opening kill. And Hunden drops a smoke, walks through it. I thought he was going to push into T main, but he does just decide to stay safe, which is good to see. In the meantime, Kinguin still fairly spread out, not expecting to see too much aggression yet. Although, as I say that, Shriro's going to push out towards B. I guess the Deagles are just trying to see if they can find some headshots, but not really getting the angles. And Hunden still taking a risky fight here, considering he has a UMP. He's going to stay safe for the time being, and here come Kinguin trying to come down. 1 HP for Rallen as he nearly falls, and Kinguin taking a fair amount of damage already.
And already this is a signal that pretty much Kinguin are going to be having it difficult, as we're seeing Stefan, lining up some of those shots, and Sparrow from Pop Dog is also getting some damage being dealt on him, and don't expect much from Miho and Rallen. You have 2 of these Ts with combined HP of now 1, and Rallen, if there was a 1 versus 5 clutch with 1 HP, it could be this one, but it's not to be. And Stefan is going to be closing things off. I mean, come on, Stefan, he is hogging kills now. Allow for some of his teammates to acquire some of those kills because now he's in a position where he could actually hit 20 kills and his teammates haven't even reached double digits, in fact. But Kinguin, they're going to be in an eco, so this could be the round where some of the other players, in fact, can shine.
Yeah, and I would expect here alternate aTTaX under Hunden's leadership to focus on making sure the UMPs have the best chance to get those kills. They should be aware that Kinguin are almost certainly having very little investment. But again, it's Stefan opening things up. He's just not going to allow the SMGs to find themselves the frags. Instead, it's the rifles to do the dirty work. Stefan gets one, as does Searson. Kappa does find the dink there, but I don't think he's going to get too much more. There we go, Searson does clean up that kill. So the UMP's not quite finding the bonus money I was hoping for, but at the same time, you can't really blame Stefan and Searson too much. They want some kills themselves, and they do deliver with 3 kills between them, leaving just Rallen and Mouse left with the Glocks.
Only, Rallen Mouse with those clocks. Not expecting too much here from the players on the terrorist side. After all, it is just an eco from them, but this does mean that alternate aTTaX is going to be having a relatively good start here on the second half. With this good start, who knows what might happen if they end up winning the gun round as well. I don't know, they could be the team to come out on top here on the CT side, but as I was mentioning previously, I do believe Kinguin, with the superior aim prowess, should be the ones to come out on top, because Kinguin really, they know that Stefan is playing towards Ivy. It just doesn't make much sense to even go towards that part of the map. Play towards other parts of the map, maybe go towards B. In fact, that could be a possibility from Kinguin, or even towards A. If they isolate the player towards Ivy, they shouldn't be having that hard of a opportunity to actually hit either of the bomb sites. So let's wait and see what's going to be the case here. Searson again with the op, but as he is positioning himself towards, is it going to be towards main? I do believe Searson is at. Stefan still holding. In fact, he's not going to be pushing up here. Kinguin, are they going to go out fast here? But how fast they are going, it doesn't mean much. Tizian, both of those frags going in favor of him. And now Kinguin already with a man disadvantage. A very quick one at that.
Yeah, the aggression comes out towards Brown Halls, and Kinguin didn't seem too ready for it. You saw the smoke was deployed to make sure the UMP could find those close range fights. And I was going to say something to watch out for here is alternate aTTaX. I think on their CT side, they do a fairly good job at taking controlled aggression, where most of the time it is going to work out in their favor. You'll specifically see Hunden a lot of the times go for information plays. I kind of like that self-awareness he has, kind of realizing he's not going to frag that well, so instead just gets info to allow his teammates to play well. Either way, let's see if Tizian can get some more kills here. He's already got the first 2, and he makes it a 3rd before he goes down. That makes a huge difference because there's still another man in the corner. It's ESCFN to clean things up with the UMP. And so just 2 players on the B site find 5 kills between them to keep things going in favor of aTTaX. They're looking really good now. Like, not only are they 11-8 up, but they're really starting to build up that money that's going to become difficult for Kinguin to overcome.
Yeah, and I guess we could also give props to them to actually go for that sort of push there towards Brown Holes. I mean, alternate aTTaX, they still had some of those SMGs, so honestly, if they push with the SMGs, for instance, like towards Brown Holes, like they just did previously, they're not going to be losing much. They still, if they end up losing those players, they end up losing the round, they're still going to be having a decent amount of money for a reinvestment. But the thing is, though, the players with the UMP is doing such a great job. Tizian, he was able to pick up both of those frags. Very nicely done by him and Kinguin. Well, after this eco, they're themselves going to be looking relatively good, I presume. Even though this is an eco, Kinguin, they still can do some damage here on the German economy. I think that's what they're trying to do for in a round like this. Searson with the up, though, is helping out his teammate Tizian, holding right there towards B upper. But the thing is, though, Kinguin, they're taking their time, and honestly, they don't really have much to work with here.
Only the pistols to play with, as you were saying, not the utility on their side. So they really don't have too much to work with. There seems to be a boost going over towards Pop Dog, but I don't think Spiro's quite finding the angle. And so Kinguin, with 35 seconds, will just run straight out on towards the site and hope to get some headshots. But as much as they may hope, they're not going to find any. Just as I say that, though, Spiro proves me wrong. He does find one headshot. That might be the final kill for Kinguin in the round. It is indeed only one solitary frag, as, by the way, he's at CFN. Shut things down there with 4 kills for himself. And he is, in fact, maxed out on cash now, up there at $15,000. He's going to drop an AWP over towards Stefan. So a double AWP set up for the CT side. Kinguin themselves, it's kind of now or never, to be honest, on this buy. This is fairly important for them at this stage. I think if they lose this round, they might be a bit too far behind. So let's see if Kinguin can step up in this vitally important round. We're already going to see some aggression again from aTTaX early on, but it's Spiro who opens up. Despite the double AWPs on the CT side, it's Spiro who gets the first kill with his AWP. Searson himself nearly loses the second AWP on the attack side, just about slithering away on 2 HP.
The Molotov there from Mouse doing quite significant damage here, and honestly, I don't blame alternate attacks trying to go for a push like this, and especially them going for the push and actually working out is very good now for the Germans. Of course, in a situation like this where you're already man down, it does make sense to try to play a bit more aggressive. If you're successful, then hey, you might still put yourself, your team in a winning position, but okay, Hunden will be in fact recovering the rifle, and ESFN spotting out both those players, in fact dropping one, and that might just be enough for him. That smoke is not good, and Hunden lining the shot right there. Michu and Maus, they gotta be feeling quite confused at this point. The Germans are stepping up, and now Maus finally gets that frag. But the thing is, though, 35 seconds on the clock, 30 HP from Maus. That's definitely not a lot to work with here. He might, in fact, just try and get the frags here, but in fact, it's gonna be Hunden with the op, doing quite a good job there with the recovered rifle, and of course, his teammate, ESFN, also doing a pretty good job there towards, I think that was Pop Dog, if I recall correctly. Anyhow, that scoreline is going to be 13-8, and Kinguin. We saw, Ehog said the round previously was of great importance. This round is also going to be of great importance because Kinguin, if they end up losing this one, well, really, they're not going to be having a lot of money when the second half is coming to a close, and that is a very dangerous prospect.
Indeed it is, but Michu doesn't want that to happen. He's been doing a good job at finding the entry kills, but Kinguin still have not been able to convert that into round wins. So Michu yet again opens up over towards Ivy. Stefan goes down. That's the AWP dropped early on. So don't underestimate how impressive that was from Michu. We're going to see the push come in towards upper B, and Searson here is stuck in the flames. He's in the real trouble now. They're going to push towards him, and I think they may have heard, but is Maus going to clear the corner? No, he doesn't! Searson finds the shot, but it's only the one kill before the trade comes through. And so now Kinguin, they don't know that the B site's open. They could have pushed through. I thought they were just going to take B. Instead, they take things slowly. But of course, with the two-man advantage, no need to take any risks in terms of the B push. And so Kinguin surely have to take this round into their favor now. Tissian gets one kill back, though, so looks a little bit scarier now for Kinguin, only with the man advantage here to hold the bomb. But Rallen makes sure that is extended. He gets a kill. In comes the trade. And Hunden in the 1-on-2 going to make his way back around. Not going to happen, though. Kinguin finally convert around on their T side.
Yeah, and you know, you made a great point that why on earth are they pushing A when they got the frag in B, especially in most cases when you're a terror-side team and you spot out one of the players playing a bit more aggressively from the CT side. This pretty much means that, okay, if a player is playing more aggressive, the thing is though, it could be because of the fact that he's alone. Like, he has a good spot there, Searson, he dies alone, and they can push towards B, but they choose to go towards A, because they also got a frag there towards the A bomb site by one of those players pushing up. And in the end, I mean, the remaining alternate attacks players were relatively far apart from one another. One guy was towards Connector, the other one towards Ivy, so it's still quite the difficult round for them to win. Hunden still trying to make it work in a 1 versus 2, but it simply wasn't good enough. Alternate attacks in a round like this, they have some of that money. It's not that big of an issue, but with that Molotov being prepped, Hunden's shadow has been spotted, and even though he's trying to go for the peak already, Spiro and Rallen are just standing there and waiting. But Searson, he definitely could have gotten that frag if he landed the flick. but the flick was not landed, and he's going for more, but that shadow is already being spotted out by Sparrow, and it simply isn't that good enough. A bit of a sloppy stuff there from the German side, but as I say so, he is defend with the frag.
Yeah, he at least salvages one kill back, but the two players pushing Team Main have already costed attacks in this round. They still have a man disadvantage. You can see Miku again trying to make things happen over towards Ivy. He's been having a lot of success towards that position, even with the AK, even with the AWP. Any weapon, he's been having success, but Stefan flicks back around, taps off the head. The flash is great from HCVN. He gets himself one kill, and it looks like it's gone in favor of Kinguin still, despite the utility working out. But Tizian peeks at the perfect time to deny the bomb plants and leave it in a one-on-one. Miku will get the bomb down, and he's the one with all the information here. But he's a little bit worried that Tizian could have pushed out. Rattles off the shot, misses, going for the jiggle peek in and out. Out comes the flashbang. Miku still trying to find the angle. Molotov forces him back. He holds true and manages to land a fairly easy flick on towards Tizian. Tizian was hoping the flashbang would have worked there, but Miku avoided it and holds his nerve to keep Kinguin in with a good chance here. Back to a 13-10 scoreline.
Yeah, but all honestly, Tizian is pretty much playing that 1 versus 2 almost to perfection, to be honest. You know, the timing was perfect for him to actually drop the bomb carrier. That was a very good stuff from him. You know, it makes it to 1 versus 1, but the problem is, though, he's up against an op and he just waits for the bomb to be planted. And as the bomb was planted, then he decides to peek, but that is already when the player with the scoped rifle has got his sights on, so it's just a bit of a difficult clutch from that point onward. Also, I guess you could say he really deployed a nice Molotov, forcing off the T from the angle, but it simply wasn't good enough. And Kinguin, at one point, the round difference was 5 rounds, but now it has been simmered down to only 3, so Kinguin is trying to make it work for what little it might seem out of opportunities that they did have. They had a pretty not the best buy coming into winning their first round on the T side. That round still ended up as a clutch, but it worked out there for the Kinguin boys. And in fact, the winner of this round can really screw the opponent's economy. If the teams win this round, they're in fact going to be able to eco the opposition, and that is, of course, very good for either Kinguin, as it might help actually make the round difference even less, or aTTaX, as they could really now extend their lead and even have a better contention and winning the map train. But anyhow, 10 to 13, very little time here for the Kinguin side. 30 seconds, they're dwindling the timer here, and Tizian, nice Molotov being prepped by him. And Kinguin, they might just have to move all of their players through upper here, to be honest.
Just look at the utility left on the attack side. They still have plenty of nades to slow down this push, and you can see the incendiary already opens things up. Rowland's going to watch for the flank. He's going to get the 1 kill. 8 seconds left, though. The bomb needs to be planted. I think it is going down, and Mouse just about gets the plant in the nick of time. So it's a 3v3 now, and Rowland's still watching the flank, making a huge difference as Miku himself finds another kill, and Stefan all alone has to clutch a 1-on-3. He's looked good so far. This is going to be incredibly difficult. He does get the 1 free kill. Fakes the defuse, but he doesn't know there's a player behind him. He's watching towards ramp. That's not where Kinguin are pushing from. As he makes his way back around, he may get caught off guard. Indeed, he will. Miku finds a second kill with that AWP. And Kinguin, despite it looking like they were going to be in trouble there on that B push, aTTaX, they had the clock taken down low. They had the utility left, and yet still Kinguin somehow managed to make their way on towards the site and keep themselves going on their T side here. They're finally winning some rounds. And more importantly, again, as you were saying, they put aTTaX back down to pistols.
Honestly, I'm quite surprised. Why on earth did the German side aTTaX decide to put up 2 players to try to go for the flank there from Pop Dog? Pop Dog, of all places, through the ladder. If there's a player watching ladder, like we saw previously, I think it was Rowland. He was able to acquire a 1 very easy kill, and also could have gotten the second as well. He, I think, at the nick of time, through a very little gap, might have spotted out the second player as well, but anyhow, he takes him down. The flank is pretty much over at that point. Tizian, well, that's a nice shot, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not gonna matter much at this point. Kinguin are still gonna be acquiring their 4th round here on the terrorist side, and their 12th in general. Now they in fact made the difference in only 1 round. aTTaX. We've talked about Kinguin them picking up some crucial rounds and putting themselves back to the game, but alternate aTTaX, they themselves gonna be having this sort of mentality here because things aren't looking so good for them on the second half.
Yeah, indeed, that seems to be the case. Here we go, though. aTTaX back to the buy. Stefan has the AWP alongside Searson, so they can still afford the double AWPs for the two German players. And let's see what aTTaX have in mind for this round, because Kinguin have been getting the better of them recently. We'll have to see if they try and go for a bit more aggression with the AWPs. In fact, we're going to see Spiro just run out through T main. Look at the aggression coming through. He finds the first entry. There comes the eventual trade from Ekfin. So it is back to a 4-on-4. And what was so surprising about Spiro's push there is you can see the rest of Kinguin were not ready to help him out. Either way, Hunden's still taking even more fights. And here come Kinguin eventually committing to the push. And the A site looks fairly vulnerable now because aTTaX have had to play things safe. They don't want to risk committing to the site, but now they're going to push their way around. aTTaX rotating all over the place, but it's not going to work out for them. Kinguin just opening up the site one by one, decimating the opposition. And so Searson with the AWP has nothing left to be done in the 1-on-4.
Giving a taste of alternate aTTaX medicine, are we now, Kinguin? As they try to push up so aggressively towards A bomb site, and as you saw, I mean, Sparrow, I think he himself didn't expect that he might get that frag, and his teammates, you know, they were a bit late, but in the end, I mean, the players from Ivy, they were slowly walking towards that A bomb site. Slowly but surely, they were creeping. At the very last second, Hunden does spot both those players. If he could have gotten a frag, I think alternate aTTaX might have had a better chance, but to be honest, I mean, two players coming from Ivy, two more coming from main. That's just a horrible position for Hunden to be in. And in general, the Kinguin side overwhelms the A defense relatively quickly. And now alternate aTTaX with a head-aching decision to make. Of course, by the looks of Hunden's CZ and armor being purchased, looks like it's going to be more than a partial buy, more than anything from the alternate aTTaX side. And honestly, I don't blame them, and they're still very much in contention to win the map here. It's still possible, don't get me wrong, but the thing is though, Kinguin is now going to have acquired 6 rounds in a row on the terrorist side, and looks like alternate is gonna allow that to happen in a round like this.
Ooh, let's... Nice smoke there from Hunden. I was going to try and follow it through, but didn't quite see where it went. I wonder where that was going. Either way, the push has come out towards upper B, as well as in towards Pop Dog. So a lot of information, and already kills coming in. In fact, Searson opened up there through the smoke. And Mouse could be in trouble here. The push comes in towards him. There's the one kill. Not quite going to find the second as he gets overwhelmed, but Miku is there to make sure his teammates' dead body cannot be picked up in terms of that AK. It can't be looted, if you like. And here come the Molotovs. Luckily for Ekfin, he has a smoke for himself. He's going to stay on the ladder. In fact, pushes his way up. However, still, again, Kinguin in the prime position to take this round, of course. 3v1, they will get the bomb down. And they might even try and hunt down the player, and indeed they will. Spiro finds that second kill. Alternate aTTaX, though, will still have money for the buy. So it's all up to this round now. Round number 28. Alternate aTTaX down by 1 round. And at this point in the game, 1 round can mean everything because we are in the very, very late stages now. You can see the buy coming through. Double AWPs for the German team. And let's see what Kinguin have in mind here because they have now won 6 rounds in a row on their T side. They'll be looking for that trend to continue.
It could be a possibility. Miku trying to get an early fight here. It looks like he's not going to be getting it as of yet. And if you're wondering, Hawk, you know, that smoke that was deployed there from none other than Hunden was actually a smoke that blocks off the vision of the T side 2 brown holes from the sort of hallway right there. That's actually a very good smoke, and it's pretty much one of the smokes that was deployed when Tizian went for that sort of push with the UMP45 on that very first gun round here on the second half. So that is a very, very nifty smoke to know. And Hunden, well, he's got knowledge. I mean, he knows his smokes. He knows his utility. And when it comes to hit the shots, he can hit his shots. It's just... though it just really comes down to luck, and I have to admit, Tizian is not going to be lucky. Searson will be dropping one, But honestly, that's not going to be enough. 4 versus 4 in the post plant. The Terracite team has got relatively good positions. And the thing is, though, alternate, they are being blocked off by everything. Smokes, flashes, Molotovs. They're pushing through the Molotovs. Capper 2 more, but apparently not. He's only going to be sufficed with the 1 frag. Now Sparrow and Rallen trying to do what they can, and Sparrow, oh man, if there was a player to win the round, it's gotta be Sparrow. He reveals his position a bit too early to have the mid-round. He's gotta spray through, and he's not. Serson will be getting that round for his team, and okay, Rallen kills Serson in the end, but I have to say that's a bit too late there from the player. And making the scoreline 14-14 now. Very close indeed.
Those double AWPs pushing through connector, pushing through the mollies, both managed to find a kill each, and that was what really made the difference there. If they don't find those kills, it's pretty much over. But as soon as they find those frags, Kinguin, despite being in fairly good positions, are at the man disadvantage, and so the defuse comes through. Here we go though, Kinguin again keeping up the pace, but look at Tizian. He's pushed all the way through B, and he's coming in for the incredibly quick flank. There's 2 kills for him, but we're already back to a 2-on-2. Such a fast-paced round. But now we're going to have a little bit of time to slow things down because Kinguin could get towards the site, but Rallen, despite having the bomb there, he just takes the fight straight up and comes out on top. And Rallen again peeks out wide. My goodness, was that risky from Rallen there. If he goes down, the bomb is out in the open, but he is confident in his push, and you can see why. He gets both headshots and gives Kinguin the chance now to close out this map.
That was honestly pretty decent from the players in Pop Dog. You know, as horrible as it might sound, the player in Pop Dog has to die at that point. They know he's going to be coming from Pop Dog, at least one of the CTs. If he dies, then the Ts shouldn't be expecting a second guy to come up from there. But the thing is, they still expect him. He dies, and Kinguin, they're already in the B-bomb site to be. In fact, they have acquired B-bombs in control, dropping lonesome Tizian. And where are his teammates? Far, far away. They're gonna try to retake this one only with pistols. Pistols across the board. CZs, Deagles. Now making the CZ on Hunden and the Deagle on Searson. It's not gonna be enough. Looks like this map did win the distance, 16-14, but Kinguin proved to be the better team here on Train. They really don't have a good track record here on Train, but as close as it might be, Kinguin showed us to be a better Terracite team, and that's what I was talking about previously. You know, on the CT side, I think that is where alternate will crumble. In fact, the CT side didn't look so hot for them. The T side was relatively good, to be honest. The CT relied a bit more on the individual prowess, and this is where I think alternate tends to lack more often than not.
Yeah, apart from Stefan, there wasn't really enough in terms of individual plays from the attack side, and so they take their first loss over in Group B. It's not terrible for alternate attacks, all things considered. They still had those first 2 wins that they picked up, so they'll go back to a 2-1 record. Still a fair few games for them left to play to see if they can continue to rise up the rankings, but those games won't be today because we are done for the day. All 4 games finished. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to stick around tomorrow, we've got plenty of games coming up then. I think we've got 5 games lined up tomorrow, so that's certainly going to be exciting to see how these groups shape up. Remember, the top team in each group goes straight to the LAN finals, so there is a lot to play for here. And right now, Tricked in Group A are in prime position to do that. They've got 3 wins and 0 losses so far already. So they're in a great position to try and get that first spot. Whereas over in Group B, it's still fairly open. WASD with 2 wins, 0 losses. Alternate Attacks up there with 2 wins and 1 loss. There's still a lot to be decided here. So certainly going to be exciting heading into tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching. And we will be back tomorrow with more Counter-Strike. Make sure to tune in. And we'll see you next time.